bad or evil spirits as well as good spirits. I have to say that if you were to ask me, I have come in contact with just once with an evil spirit. So yes, the same thing as with Lucy, there is nothing bad in this house. There are spirits, but there's nothing bad. And the same thing, you would know by this point. It's quite clear when there's something evil going on. As a matter of fact, if I felt anything evil, I would not be standing here. So that's the truth of the matter.
There's no Beetlejuice, huh?
There's no Beetlejuice, no. And one of the things that I feel fortunate in one sense is that I did get to experience true evil. But once you come across it, you don't forget it. You will, as soon as you walk into a room, you will, well, I will feel it. So I'm glad to hear that, you're enjoying your house, because there's nothing worse than for someone to have a home and not be able to enjoy it. There are spirits all around us all the time. It's just a matter of, number one, them accepting that you're there as well as them. Or sometimes they don't even know that you're there, because they're still living kind of in their spirit world, their realm. It's very interesting how it's just so complicated. So, and I don't know if anybody has ever experienced this with animals, where I have seen the spirit of an animal. And so if you ever have had an animal and you feel that that animal might be there, they probably are. Whether or not you actually see it is a whole other thing. But I did an investigation at an inn, and I came into the one room, which basically was the living room of the house, where there was a fireplace. And I came in, and as clear as day, I saw a dog curled up on the couch. And I saw the color of the dog, knew what kind of dog it was. And so I went to the owner and I said, I'm going to tell you what I just saw. And I did, and tears welled up in her eyes, and she said, that was my dog. And she says, and it was a black, now the interesting thing was, as I said, lab mix, and she said it was a black lab mix. So things like that happen, and it's a gift. It is a gift that I feel was given to me, and now I'm utilizing it and using it. Ever since I was a child, things have been happening. My grandmother was a medium. My aunt also had psychic abilities. My father, it just went down the whole line. And believe it or not, that's the other thing. Just like you, let's say some people are artists. That's given to them. That's genetic. That's passed on through the genes. Same thing with being able to play music or any of those. It's a gift, and gifts come in many different packages. So I'm taking the one that I have, and finally said I need to be using it and having fun with it as well. So I hope that you get to enjoy that. As far as my being able to communicate with spirits, that didn't happen until probably, actually when I was about 18. And the first time it happened, I was visiting an aunt who has the ability to contact spirits. And I went to her house, and I hadn't seen her since I was about 10 years old. So the first night I was there, I just knew that I wasn't alone. That's the best way to put it. And the second night I was there, and I couldn't sleep, and I was like tossing and turning. And then finally the third night, which was the last night that I was going to be there, I wound up waking up and seeing this beautiful woman sitting on the night table. And I I mean, I could see her as clear as I see you. I closed my eyes, I opened them, she was still there. Closed my eyes again, opened them, she was gone. Now, of course, I'm saying to myself, okay, you didn't see that. You were just dreaming. I go back to sleep. A little while later, I'm talking in my, I guess in my sleep. I'm talking to somebody. And with this, I said, okay, I was thinking I was talking to a friend of mine that I was doing at my job. And I said, okay, Teddy, slap me 5. And I put my hand out. And with this, I feel whap. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm now under the covers with my hands. And I'm like, and I'm still thinking I'm asleep. I'm trying to convince myself I am asleep. So with that, I said, all right, okay. I'm going to put my hand back out there. And if I get slapped, I know I'm not asleep. And sure enough, I put my hand back out there. Well, not only did I get slapped, but they grabbed my arm. So now, in defense, because it's scary, I grab my hand, and now they've got my wrist. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling in, because the only thing I can think of doing is biting them. I mean, that's kind of, you just are so afraid. I get to here, I look down and I go, oh my God, you can't bite a ghost. I let go, and now I'm sitting under the covers, and I am like so afraid. I could not get out of the bed, even if I wanted to get out of the bed. And I hadn't seen my aunt in so long, I was like, what is this going to look like? I'm going to go running into her room and go, oh my God, So with every bit of energy, I said, I know there is a ghost here, I recognize your being, but I have to get up early in the morning. Please let me go to sleep. With that, everything stops. Now, of course, I wound up having to go back to my aunt's house because that's where the plane flight was taking off, and I finally decided to open up to her. And I said, Aunt Lucy, I go, when I was here, this is what happened. She goes, why didn't you tell me? I said, well, I was afraid. I didn't want you to, I haven't seen you in so long. Winds up that my grandmother had stepsisters. Each one of them had died right around the age that we had said, which was, I think, 28, from epilepsy. And one of them was known to have long, beautiful blonde hair. And that was the very first time that I ever experienced it. And then after that, it just started happening and coming to me. And so while we were here at Lucy's, we did a preliminary investigation, and indeed, Lucy would not tell me which room where she felt the activity, but again, like I said, I'm kind of like an antenna, and I was able to tell her which room there was the main activity in, but I also got to tell her a few things that she didn't know. And then there was the artist. There is a room that Lucy has beautifully done in paintings in bright colors, and I went into that room and I asked her what possessed her to, or maybe that's a bad word to say.
Possessed. No one will deny that.
No one. And I said, what made you decide to make this room with all the paintings on the wall and the Van Goghs and she said, oh, I just do the rooms. And I said, nothing came to you? And she said, no, I don't think so. And I said to her, well, Lucy, I feel an artist here. I said, there is an artist residing here. And with this, Lucy says, oh my God, this used to be an artist retreat. The other interesting things that happened while we were here is Lucy felt that we should go into the attic. So she actually was going to send Brad up there, but for something compelled me to go up. And what was kind of interesting is that when I got up there, I turned to Lucy and I said, Lucy, I said, this might seem crazy, I said, but I'm going to tell you what I see. I said, I see people living up here. And with that, Lucy Lucy said to me, yes, people used to live up there. And I went, well, I see a whole family. And I actually, and I never did get to tell her this, which she might be able to confirm or not. The night that I went into the attic, I actually saw a husband and wife and 2 children. That is what I saw. And
I don't honestly know who lived here, I just know that there were living quarters up there.
yeah, and what was interesting is that, and I'm just gonna tell you the way that it kind of came to me, is that it looked like they were cooking. Looked like they were cooking. I don't know if they had a little setup of some sort up there, but that's what it looked like. They were all sitting around. It wasn't obviously, I got the impression that they were cooking. The other thing that happened too was when we went up into the one room, sometimes I am prone to feel furniture. And because it also too can tell you a story, or the spirits may come to you through that. And so we went up into the one room, and I felt the need to touch the bedpost. And with that I said to Lucy, you didn't purchase this bed. And she said, no, I didn't. And I said, this bed, I think if I'm not mistaken, I said, this bed is here. A lot of times when this comes to me, I can't remember everything, so that's why we video. And she said, yes, you're right. So she asked me if I would please go to another piece of furniture and touch it and tell her what I thought. And I did. And well, I thought I lost Lucy for a few seconds there, because when I touched it, I said to her, this piece of furniture is from your husband's family. And with that, Lucy said, okay, I'm leaving now. And
That was the Aunt Cross.
so I am hoping that we will be able to, because when something like that happens, I have to think that that person wants to make contact. Or at least an image comes to me. It's very brief sometimes, but hopefully I can tune into that a little bit more. But that is some of the things that we did experience, and I don't want to give everything away. Other things at the other end of the building, and hopefully with time we'll get to experience more or to get more information.